Hi, this is Kurt. As we get into Adobe Audition 1.5 today, once again, as we will discuss creating and saving session files using Adobe Audition 1.5, the software that's been around for nearly 25 years and is in use still in a lot of radio station studios for production work. Of course, Adobe Audition 1.5, the Windows-based software. With a lot of different applications. And today we'll again discuss how to best use Adobe Audition for your purposes as we will work with session files. I'm going to go ahead and start up just a raw new session here with Adobe Audition. And you'll see it will default to the multi-track view of the software, which gives you the workspace for each individual track. And in addition, you can go into view the waveforms individually as opposed to viewing it at the track level. Couple of pieces of information here. Number one, the ability to edit the view of the individual tracks. You can scroll here just by hovering over any of those track boxes here. To be able to squeeze that in or expand that out depending on what your particular preference is. And in addition, you can also name each track here. The default numbers the tracks out, track 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So for this case here, if I wanted to do, say, Kurt voiceover, I can name that, and then I can highlight and go into the next track and go to music sound bed and maybe go into effects. And that way I can use that in the edit phase here and create some different files that will go in. So as an example, we'll just go ahead and arm a track and we'll record. And good morning, Kurt Nichols here on WZZB Radio 99.3. So you'll see how that will dump that in. Actually, in this case here, I've created a stereo file, unintentionally actually, but this will give me a good opportunity to talk about that for a minute, where you can edit the qualities of your soundtrack here just going into the input or the output channel here. The input will let the software know what you want to happen. So I've got a Studio 68C PreSonus direct box here. I'm just going to want to use it as a left channel application, which is counterintuitive actually, because assigning it the left channel only will actually make it a mono. So let's try that again. 99.3 WZZB Super Hits Radio here on this Saturday morning. Hope you're having a great day as we're learning a lot here on the radio broadcast here today. So you can go in and do your voice tracks, and then you can add in any kind of effects, etc. Say it's a sponsored event or whatever, you can bring that in as well, and go ahead and do that. So this will sound quite goofy here because it's really, I think, a news intro versus 7WXKU.com. Good morning, Kurt Nichols with WXKU News. It's brought to you by My Hoosier Hearth in downtown Seymour. 99.3 7W. So, just the usual mixing and editing aspects of it is how this would be used, and so what would happen, and the purpose of this video actually is to share with you how to create a session and save a session for future reference. So if I have some different sounders that I want to drop in and I want to use that format repetitively, I can save this and the files will be right there every time. So I'm going to come back to that here in just a minute. I will show you another aspect of Adobe Audition that is really pretty cool, and that is over here when you select import a file. you have the option to preview any of the files that you have. So I've got an
Streaming online at 927wxku.com.
So if I highlight any of these
News,
files,
a service of My Hoosier Heart.
and you see how that works here. That's particularly helpful when I'm doing production work and I want to find just that right sound bed for the project that I'm working on. So again, this is just working here in the multi-track view, creating some sessions. I'm going to close out of this, and we're not going to save any of that mess here. I want to go in and show you one of the session files that I've already saved. And I've given it a unique name, Adobe 1.5 News Session. And here you'll see a variety of the saved files that I have for use for the news. I'm going to drag this over here and just show you how that basically works as well. So again, it's defaulted to each of these files here where I left them last.
Streaming online at 927wxku.com. Good morning, Kurt Nichols with WXKU News.
So using the sounder and then the voiceover is something that I do every day, and it's a really good time saver for you to learn as you have the opportunity to save this, again, as an overall session, keeping all of those files in place as you see it. What will happen also is, let's say that I've got some different files here that I want to bring in mass, and I'm going to, say, highlight about 12 or so and bring those in. And again, it will populate the file tree here to the left, and then I can drag and drop and bring those in and dump them in accordingly. I'm not going to do that at this point because I have a certain sequence that I need to create here for the right matchup of the sounder for the particular news hour. But again, you can bring files in mass and then drag them over into your workspace. What I want to show you as a result of that is the fact that you just saw me bring in multiple files here for consideration to bring into the multi-track mixdown session. I'm not going to bring any of those in. Let's just assume that I don't want to use them. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Current session not saved. I'm going to go ahead and save the session because we've made some slight edits to some of the files that's in the multi-track editor. And then we'll go ahead and get out of that. Now let's open it right back up here. What you'll see then in the file tree on the left is that those files that I chose not to bring in, guess what? They're gone. They're no longer there. I chose not to use them, and so it's assuming that I don't want them to be seen again or until such time that I make a choice to bring that into the mix. So that's how that will work. Again, you can save this as a unique session if you want to save the session as Adobe training. If I could spell here, Adobe training session. And let's just date that 1019. So that will save it here for future reference as I go back and open that back up, so you can see in that location I've again given it a unique name, opened it back up here, and we'll be able to use that in whatever capacity we choose in the future. So that's a little bit about session files. I will show you a little bit different version here of Adobe Audition in Adobe 3.0, which is a couple of iterations or updates above 1.5. And I have several session files saved here. I will show you the weather file that I use for the daily weather forecast. I have some sounders saved here that gives me the different sound beds. Let's just do a quick recording just to show you how that works. Today we'll see partly sunny skies. We'll top out around 75 degrees as our high. Tonight clear and cool with a low of 37. And once again on Sunday, We'll have nice temperatures with a high of 77 degrees under mostly sunny skies. All right, so I've created the unique sound file for the day. I'm going to drag that in over here above the sound bed. I'm going to go ahead and mute the one that I don't want at the bottom. I have a couple of sound beds here, one for WZZB and one for WXKU. I want to use the WZZB intro and the weather forecast. And this type of an application here or instruction will be applicable to both Adobe Audition 1.5 and 3.0. So I'm going to drag that over here and extend that out, and you can see how that will merge together those two sound files. So again, as you look at the screen here, just as in Adobe Audition 1.5, I've got a couple of channels muted here that I don't want to be part of the mix. So the vocal production at the top, and then the WXKU sound bed, and then I have a utility file here at the bottom. So the way that will work, we'll mix that down here in just a minute. But again, just want you to get an idea of how utilizing the session files and how that keeps information where I need it. Okay, so again, the purpose here is just to show you how you can save session files and utilize that as a time-saving measure in whatever job that you have in place at this point in time. So again, hope you've gotten something out of that as far as saving your sessions. If you're a multitasker and you want to come back to a specific set of files, that will allow you to do so. So thanks again for listening. This is Kurt again on today's training video working with Adobe Audition 1.5.